Singapore's Land Transport Authority has awarded Gamuda's operating unit, Gamuda Berhad Singapore Branch's joint venture with Waifong Construction, a 467 million Sing dollar design and construction contract for a portion of the country's 8th mass rapid transit line. This is for the proposed Defu station and tunnels, which form part of the 29-kilometre cross-island line Phase 1. In a statement to the board, Gamuda said that GBSG and Waifong have formed an unincorporated JV on a 60-40 basis, where GBSG is the lead member for the design and construction of the planned Defu station and tunnels along Tampines Road. Commencement date for the Defu station and tunnels project is scheduled within the second quarter of 2022, while completion date is expected within 2030. Gamuda says the main risk for this project is the availability of foreign staff and labour due to the evolving immigration policy in border restrictions brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. The project is expected to contribute positively to the revenue and earnings of Gamuda Group for the financial year ending July 31st, 2022. Gamuda said the work scope for the Defu station and tunnel project comprises one underground station and 2 tunnels. The group said that its partner Waifong, directly owned by SJK Investments, has been operating in Singapore for more than 28 years. Singapore's LTA had also issued a statement on the award of 2 contracts, each one involving the design and construction of the CRL1's planned Defu and Tampines North stations and their associated tunnels. The LTA had awarded the Tampines North Station contract worth an estimated 397 million Sing dollars to China Communications Construction Co. Singapore branch. Axiata Group managed to stage a turnaround for its fourth quarter of FY21, posting a net profit of 116 million compared with a net loss of 256 million the year before. This was thanks to a higher top line and lower depreciation and amortization, but was offset by impairment of Ncell Axiata's goodwill of 338.4 million ringgit during the quarter under review. Revenue for the quarter grew 10.2% to 6.9 billion as all its operating companies recorded growth except Ncell. Axiata also declared a second interim dividend of 5.5 cent per share, which brings FY21's dividend payout to 9.5 cent per share, equivalent to 871.5 million ringgit. The stronger final quarter helped Axiata to end FY21 on a positive note, with net profit for the year improving by 124% to 365.2 million, while revenue increased 7% to 25.9 billion ringgit. President and Group CEO Dato' Izzaddin Idris says the group plans to invest 7.1 billion in capex this year. He says entering 2022, the group will be focused on sustaining its growth momentum and is circumspect in targeting a mid-single digit for revenue growth and a high single digit for EBIT growth in view of prevailing tough external conditions. He says moving forward, Axiata will be closely monitoring macroeconomic, regulatory and industry risks in addition to developments in Myanmar. However, Axiata is positive about upsides in Indonesia, a revenue uplift from demand for data, digital content and enterprise digital transformation, as well as the integration of completed acquisitions in 2021. The group says it is also looking at potential inorganic opportunities in 2022. According to Izzaddin, all the group opcos played their part in the rigorous execution of the Axiata 5.0 vision, which focuses on positioning for new norms, opco transformation and driving structural changes to future-proof the group. Nestle Malaysia's net profit for the fourth quarter fell 15.4% year-on-year to 112.1 million, mainly due to the impact of higher commodity prices and operating expenses. In contrast, revenue rose 7% to 1.47 billion from 1.37 billion in the previous year, driven by higher domestic and export sales. Nestle declared a third interim dividend of 1 ringgit 2 cent per share, which brings total dividends for FY21 to 2 ringgit 42, which is 10 cent higher than the 2 ringgit 32 paid in FY20. For FY21, Nestle's net profit improved by 3.1% to 569.8 million, while revenue grew by 5.9% to 5.73 billion from 5.41 billion ringgit. In a statement, CEO Wan Aranol said that continued volatility is expected as the pandemic transitions to an endemic phase, while new variants remain a global short-term risk factor and supply chains remain highly disrupted. He says against this backdrop, Nestle remains remains committed to continue delivering high-quality products that resonate well with Malaysians. However, Aranals admits that challenges will persist in the year ahead, including rising food commodity costs that in some cases could translate into price increases. He says that Nestle's sustainability agenda will make further progress in 2022 through increased use of renewable energy, tree planting and expanding the reach of its door-to-door recycling program. The Ministry of Health is in the final stage of preparing the standard operating procedure for reopening the country's borders before presenting it to the Cabinet for approval, said National Recovery Council Chairman Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. Expressing hope that the country's borders could be opened fast, Muhyiddin says an announcement on this was expected to be made soon, Bernama reports. He explains that every single day of delay costs the country and that there is tremendous benefit for Malaysia to open its borders soon. Muhyiddin says tourism, education and healthcare travel were among the sectors badly affected by the border closure due to the COVID-19 pandemic. He says Malaysia had been rather slow in reopening its borders, despite being among the 10 most successful countries in implementing the COVID-19 vaccination program. He cites Australia as an example of a country that had already started opening their borders, although their vaccination take-up rates were still lower than Malaysia's. Muhyiddin says although there was now a rise in COVID-19 positive cases and admissions to hospitals, the national immunisation drive had proven effective in protecting the recipients from severe infections. He says that at Tuesday's meeting, NRC supported in principle the Langkawi Development Authority's proposal to enhance Langkawi's international travel bubble program in terms of reduction of screening tests and implementation of the Langkawi-Singapore vaccinated travel lane. Kajaya Prospect Group has bagged its largest ever construction contract worth 710.1 million for the construction of the main building and external works for a proposed residential development project in Ampang. In a statement, Kajaya Prospect said its wholly owned subsidiary Kajaya Prospect Malaysia accepted a letter of award from Nikmat Merpati and that the project is expected to be completed in 53 months from its commencement date in June 2022. The LOA is for the development of Astrum Ampang, a 6.75-acre transit-oriented development located near Jalan Jelate and Jalan Ampang. The development, comprising home office units, apartments and retail spaces, has a GDV of 1.6 billion ringgit. This win boosts Kajaya Prospect's outstanding order book to 4.1 billion, which could sustain the group's earnings over the next 5 years. CEO and Executive Director T. Eng Tiong says the latest contract not only marks a significant milestone for the construction group, but also serves as a testament to its proven track record and ability to secure sizable contracts. T says that as the nation begins to recover from the adverse impacts of COVID-19, the group remains optimistic of achieving its contract wins target of 1.2 billion for the year 2022.